my experience and my journey with lymphedema. They call it a comedy of errors, but it wasn't a comedy because I wasn't laughing at the end of it. Unfortunately, I contributed to it myself, so I'll tell you what it is in terms of preparation yourself to accept that. I think one of the questions was, can we get cured? Is compression garments a forever thing? It's better to, what do they say, be prepared and then pray for the best. It is what it is. The faster you accept it, better. I did not accept it because I didn't come this far in my life, including surviving cancer, to have my lifestyle taken away from me. And I resisted that a lot. So I'll focus more on that because you don't want to hear the technical side, and I'm not qualified to tell you. I depend on the doctors to tell me that, but that's another lesson to learn. Don't just depend on one doctor. You might, and then that's why the support group is really nice, because other people would have journeyed like you have and have richness of experiences, which might not totally apply, but certainly open your perspectives to different ways of that. Because I tend to trust the system, partly because I'm lazy. I mean, they're the experts, right? So I was a bit lazy. So I'll tell you what has happened with me. So very quickly, what did I have? I had my axillar lymph nodes completely removed by the surgeon. I put these people up here. Actually, initially I was going to, not to say make them feel guilty, but I wanted to say that these are what I would call the stages where people could have intervened and didn't. In my case, did not. Now, do I blame and shame them?
Yes.
No.
Team devil's advocate.
No, because I think there is a certain philosophy, rightly or wrongly, around what is priority. Their priority is to save your life. Actually, as a patient, my priority is also to save my life. So even if I had that knowledge, perhaps I would have ignored it as well in the scheme of things at that stage. And that's the one thing we need to kind of prevent the best we can by raising the awareness that yes, priority is priority. Stay alive first. But why stay alive if your quality of life is going to be permanently damaged? So that part, is it a first world luxury, or is it just a right? Because sometimes I say, oh, but you know, they say only 20%, and so now we see it's 33.5%. I think it's 50% these days. I sometimes tell people 20%, oh no, they say, you know, priority 20% only get, so some don't get, you know, we got lack of resources. And some people will balk like 20% is 20% too many. And I happen to be in the 20%, so now I think it's too many also. But that's still interesting. So I'm not gonna, I put that up for a reason previously. So my surgeon actually just told me as a matter of fact, you know, oh, so, you know, when we open you up, and I chose, so I had stage 3 breast cancer in the year 2000. My journey mirrored COVID, which is wonderful because I didn't feel envious of my friends. They were in lockdown like I was. And they said, how come when you suffer, we have to suffer with you? I said, that's what friends are for. You know? I suffered longer than you all, I said, because my treatment lasted the whole of 2020. And the shock is really, I was already monitoring for breast cancer for the better part of 15 years before then. And had done four, what do they call that? Biopsies. And everything time it was clear. But every time they would panic when they see my breast because it's very calcified. And I said, look, I don't want to be paranoid. I am too lazy to examine my lumps. Why don't I come every year and you examine it, right? Then, lo and behold, just the last one, in 2018, the surgeon said, Miss Woon, your sister, all of them, same size, never move. No need lah. No need to do once in a year. How about once in 2 years? I said, you are the doctor. I'm okay to come once a year. So I did it once in 2 years, and lo and behold, in month 18, I discovered it. And it was stage 3, which is a shock. I'm like, huh? And it's not even in the breast that they did the biopsy. So the surgeon actually didn't tell me much. My fault not to have asked. I didn't know about so many types. What? Cancer is cancer, right? So I said, okay, I have it, go cut it out. Cut both of it. I don't need it. My womanhood is not defined by my breast. She said, you're sure you want to reconstruction? I said, no need. I've always dreamt I shouldn't need to do a bra to wear a bra when I was doing my sports, right? Here was my dream come true. Of course, but now I miss it. I say, well, you don't have it like this. It's terrible. Life is like that. So yeah, so I went through that treatment. So the surgeon merely told me that she was going to do a cold section, sentinel lymph nodes, and if it is cancerous, you'll have to cut it off. And I said, yeah, you do what you need to do. So she did. She cut off the entire set of my axilla lymph nodes. Which if now I knew, had I been with this group before I had this, then it would be like alarm bells flashing. But to me it was like, okay lor, she had to do what she had to do, right? So I didn't pay attention to it. She didn't highlight it. I don't remember, maybe there was some literature and I was given a booklet to read. That's a lot of material to read, and you're concentrating on the cancer, not on the auxiliary. So I sailed, I mean, to be fair, I sailed to my treatment by the grace of God. That I didn't, okay, I mean, I think part of it was I expected, like people say chemo, you know, vomit, and then you like lose appetite. So I think expectations, managing expectations is very important. There was certainty. I know you had to go through what you had to go through, and then you get an end kind of period, and hopefully you recover in that sense. So I didn't have much anxiety, and I was blessed that I did lose my taste buds, which was wonderful, because then I lost like 10 kilos, which is quite difficult to do, whether keto diet or anything else. So people who didn't know I had my illness, some recently met me and said, wow, you look good, man, you lost so much weight. Well, tell me how you did it. I said, you wouldn't want to do what I did. So there you are. There are some good in whatever is bad, right? So now the challenge is trying not to put back this weight, because now I see food is like, let's go for it, man. You're lucky to be alive. Eat. Preserve and prevent. So I didn't understand about lymphedema. It wasn't highlighted to me. Like I said, to be fair, maybe even if it was highlighted to me, I might not have prioritized it. Just as I like to think that the surgeon wasn't deliberate about not highlighting it. Her duty and role was to get your cancer out, right? So it was passed on to the oncologist. So as I'm hearing now, so this immediately after surgery, I don't think anything happened in my arm. I was like quite happy doing my thing, like walks and all. Radiation was the one that started. I think 3 days into radiation, the young radiologist said, oh, Miss Woon, your arm seems to be a bit like kind of bloated. But they weren't concerned, right? So they are not concerned, why should I be concerned, right? So I asked my radiology oncologist, I said, hey, they say that my arm has a... They said, oh, haven't you seen the physio? I'm like, no, why would I see the physio, right? So I think the whole atmosphere was, let's get your radiation through and get that sorted out. So we did it. Right, got radiation through. And I thought, oh great, I don't know, radiation burns or anything, maybe it must be all the golf that I play, I'm used to the sun. But lo and behold, I did get radiation burn aggravated by the lymphedema. Now, the most painful period of my treatment was actually this time. I couldn't, you know, move and raise it, but it still did not occur to anybody about the lymphedema aggravating and causing this. So again, went through it, and so at the end of all this treatment, the arm was not too bad, and it was me who said, hey, you know, great, I'm now ready to restore my life, which means climbing mountains and going treks, right? How about I go and get fitted with a customized compression garment? That's what everybody says, right? So she said, don't ask me lah, I don't sell you, I don't have the garment, you will see the physio. So off I trooped to see the physio. I said, can you give me a customized garment? Actually, being an ex-finance person, I was saying, can claim insurance then? But actually cannot, not my insurance, claim nothing. But anyway, I thought, oh, get it fitted, right? So I didn't really have a bad thing that made my life difficult at all at that stage. So she said, no need, I measure you. After measure, oh, you can get standard 2A compression garment. Oh, great, where do I get it? Oh, just Ward 2B, don't know what. So I rushed there. The vendor was excitedly wanting to sell me the garment, had no medical knowledge. All she said was very difficult to put on her, but don't worry, I just pull here, pull there, pull there. That's all that. So I pull here, pull there. And then, and it cost a lot of money. I wore it. So I was playing mahjong with my friends, trying to restore my normal life. And luckily I noticed how the garment didn't fit. So I'm going to show you what happened. So I wore the garment. There was I think it was standard 2A. They gave me a glove, 2 parts. This you can see one part.
What she meant was class 2.
Class 2. I'm
Yes.
class 2.
Yes.
Now I'm
No,
class
no.
1.
Yes. Yeah. Can.
Okay, so I literally saw is the dorsum that it bloated before my eyes. I said, look, this is crazy. How come it's bigger than when I started? And the physio never told me anything about it. So I took it out and my friend said, wow, what happened here? Right, so you get all these, this is how they start. I think I came quite a long way lah. Okay lah.
Yeah. Not very good.
Not too bad, not too bad. But of course, Veron is right. I don't go and see her often enough. But then she's so busy, so I blame her.
I like that.
She can't give me appointments.
Ah.
So I must remind her.
Oops.
That actually, when I saw the physio, and she recommended me the garment, she said, come back and see me, but I'm really busy, so 2 weeks time. Okay, 2 weeks time. So was it my need? No. So I have this feeling when I went back to ask them, how come this is happening? Oh, they must have given you a wrong fit garment. You should be concerned why this is happening. But anyway, long and short was, it was a lot of cover your ass type of activities. Vendor said this was wrong. I said, hey, I'm the patient here suffering with this suddenly, bucket arm, right? Aren't you going to do something about it? And he says, well, compression garment works for most, but you must be the odd person. So it's my fault.
Ayo.
So odd one. Then I said, okay, then you come, we'll do this bandaging, water technique. But this one you must be patient. You're very impatient, you chomp, which I have to admit I'm a bit impatient. So I said, okay, how long? How often? It depends. I hate that answer. It depends, right? I know it does depend, right? So I went with them for 3 months of this treatment, and I was so desperate because my lifestyle was completely out the window. I was so paranoid. I could not focus on my normal thing because they told, don't do your yoga, no good for you, especially this downward dog thingy, and don't play golf, it's not good for you. I said, then what do I do? Or even walking, don't put your hand like that, you must walk like that. Where people go trekking like that one? You're not stylo Milo. So I'm like, after I said, do you all know what you're talking about? I really did not have a sense of confidence that they knew what they were talking about. In fact, I'm quite sure they didn't know what they were talking about. So what can I do, right? So I read up and, oh shit man, it's not curable. I have to live with it. But I was completely mentally washed out because I am mentally quite strong, but this was just too much to handle. There's a loss of control and the inability to have any confidence or trust in the person treating you. Can you imagine? You're stuck with this and you have no confidence they know what they're talking about. So I was quite desperate. I was going to do finally LVA and saw the doctor, BK's assistant. Name's not mentioned, actually, he was quite good. Very good looking,
Wow. That's important.
Playing golf as well. And, actually, he was very reassuring. He said, yes, you can go back to your lifestyle. I will recommend LVA together with lymph node transplant. And he was very confident. But he also said, okay, let's give the bandaging another 2 months. And if it really doesn't work, then we'll consider this. So he wasn't trigger happy about it, or knife happy rather. to be. So, names. It's okay.
I can vouch that he's good looking.
Yeah. Varon says
Sure.
you just go and see him
Yeah.
to see him. Fair lah, he said that.
Nice
so,
looking.
so I was about to do it already. I said no need lah. I've already been bandaged for 3 times. 3 months, it's not gonna work. Okay, after New Year I'll come see you. And as destiny would have it, a good friend of mine, Evan, and said, Lai Har, you're gonna have to seek a second opinion. You can't keep rushing off to do these things. I say, hey, these are doctors who know what they're doing. I have research. They're not fly by night. He says, no, you get a second opinion. So Evan was very good. Probably owe something to my friend, some business stuff. So Evan called me and says, look, I'm an oncoplastic surgeon. I could do this for you too. But I won't. I won't until you see Varon. So I said, wow, if Varon's so good, she got to make time to see me, man. But Varon called me when I was at the National Heart Center waiting to go across to be bandaged again. Varon calls me, right? Wow, VIP calling me, Said,
Yeah, why?
Then she said, you come see me, lor. I said, you're so busy. So she made the appointment the next day. I went to Evan's clinic. She saw me and then she said, you've been bandaged the wrong way. Wrong way, I'm like, huh? 3 months, paid so much money to be bandaged the wrong way. What are you talking about? So they gave me a month. So within the month, she got rid of that horrible thing, horrible. So yeah, then I was with Varon quite really. And then we used to have very deep talks. Varon talks when she bandages.
Yes, so it's not us alone. You need everybody. How can you do that?
I agree.
Hey, you are.
But we had
I should also agree.
very deep thoughts, and so I thought I had it bad till I heard Varon's story. This poor girl diagnosed, crying away, walking El Camino.
Yeah.
But what I loved about Varon was she says, Lai Har, claim your life back. Why say it can't be done? I did it. She said, yeah, this little girl go El Camino when she's like crying, say got this. So she gave me the confidence. She knew what she was talking about, and she showed me the results. And most importantly, I think mentally, I had confidence in my therapist that she had in my interest at heart. But of course, it's my delinquency lah. After I was like overcome all this already, learn to live with it.
Because you can play golf now.
Yes. So I left to play golf and never went. Not that I never lah. She was so busy, right? So I didn't go back as often as she. Because I told Varon I hate the bandaging. The bandaging reminds me I'm not well. And everyone who sees me say, Miss Woon, you okay or not? Because they see your bandage, right? I said, it looks worse than it is. Actually, I'm not okay mentally until I accepted my condition. So this is what, we want to focus about lessons learned. What are my lessons learned, which is important, was really that, as I said, if I did more research, I use the word mind because I suspect that really I too would be distracted with life and death situations, which as I say is why I don't blame the doctors for not focusing on it. So I think it's a mindset. If we want to shift it, let's go back. If we want to shift the minds, move the dot, we do have to shift the mindsets, I think. I think awareness would make people realize that maybe not immediately at that stage, but immediately after you've done your surgery, you've finished your chemo, but keep a lookout. Because early intervention makes such a lot of difference. I would say in my case, as I say, it's a comedy of errors because I myself actually went to ask for a garment. Maybe if I didn't, maybe my hand might not. But then again, it might flare up. Years later, like Ruby was sharing, right? Years later, it flares up. Then what? So awareness is really quite important for all cancer patients. And don't rely on anybody else. Not even Varon, because you don't know Varon.
Yeah.
Right? And then after that, she got so many patients. Now I have to ask her, give me lah, give me one, you know. Panic, is it? Is it panic? Is it? Then you come to me. So I think important thing is really mindsets of the doctors in the system. That one will take time. Veron and I have started on this journey 2 to 3 years ago. So he said, Veron said she had a vision that she and I will never be cured. Because God wants to keep us humble. I told her to renegotiate, like, you know, how about I just keep her humble and she keeps her humble? She can just, you know, cure us, but it's not curable, right? But yeah, I mean, in his plan, I think we do what we can, and we leave it in his hands onto his timing. I think it's beginning to take traction even in the public hospitals and certainly in the private space. This is a great event today, and we've connected with the Singapore Cancer Society, and I'm sure I can sell some strategy to them to take it on board, because I just discovered, right, she says that they're now in the heart of the cancer area.
Yeah.
So they could be the go-to lymphedema point.
Yes.
If the
Position well.
Exactly. If the public hospitals don't have priority, don't have time, then let the Cancer Society fill that blank. So, and we should partner with them to step in as survivors, as I like the word warriors. I said cancer warrior, not survivor. Survivor is too passive. We are warriors, and we will win that fight. Even if you don't get cured, we can manage. So I need to be resilient, and for me it's the 3 M's, monitor your condition, modify and manage. Each of us have a different lifestyle. Some people are more sedentary with Netflix, and maybe that part of their life, K-drama, you know, that kind of stuff. That's okay. If that's your choice, so be it. But I want to claim back my life. I am active, though I have to respect age and cancer and lymphedema, that I have to slow down. But I still go as far as my body can take. So that is another issue around lymphedema. Depends on really what you want to do. So it is very customized, I would say. And I think whilst compression, I was going to ask the question, everybody says by default it's compression garment, but be very careful. Compression garment must be correctly fitted. And your therapist should really look at you very shortly after you wear it. And what was happening to me, if I didn't stop it, I think it would be really bad. Then I'd be really stupid also. I mean, you're seeing it grow before your hands, right, as it were. But what can you do? So I think it is very, it's an art, not a science. And because it's an art using science, your therapist really needs to be very involved in you and not treat you as just another status, another patient. Unfortunately, my experience is you are another patient. So therefore, please educate yourself, monitor yourself, and just manage it, and you can have your life back. But you have to accept a new normal. I also have to accept that. But that could have come even without cancer, because when you're over 60, every year is quite a challenge. Don't believe them when they say, oh yeah, you can, you know. Yes, you can, but it takes a lot of effort. And I think we've earned it to sit back and just enjoy it. So I think it's a mission to reach out to other potential victims. And I call them victims because, as Veron educated me, they don't need to. They didn't need to. Had they been educated, has the system educated the various parties involved to alert. And I think support groups like this group that Veron started is really, really very helpful. I mean, the stories that you share, if you think I'm a warrior, I just met a true warrior last week, Marcus, who can't be with us. Amazing. You know, so I hope one day he'll be able to come share.
Next conference. But I mean, and he has got tips around, and he would share the tips also, I think. He works so hard every night with oils, massaging he had tongue cancer, massaging, and you see the result today, you see he wouldn't have guessed. And they cut off his tongue. Yeah. And yet he can speak with hardly a lips.
Yes.
It's just amazing. That is a warrior to me. So such stories will encourage you that it is doable, definitely doable. But it is also commensurate with the efforts you put in. So for me, I accept still stage 1 plus. Still stage 1 plus. I've invested in the Lymphopress, so every night I do it.
Good girl.
Yes. Then I must make an appointment for her to check that it's
Yes,
the
review.
right review. So I bought that because it suits my lifestyle. I really don't like to, waste too much time at home. I multitask, I do this, do that, do that. So hopefully it will be possible. So that's my journey. I hope the takeaways are helpful. I would say mentally, just accept your condition, not in a passive way. Accept it because you can't change what has happened. So I'm not angry that this happened. Why didn't I? Because, well, I had an okay time with the cancer treatment, and you'll never be grateful to say, hey, why me? How come I escaped without anything? So if this happened, it happened for a reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't meet Veron. Otherwise, I would be merrily doing frivolous things now, which I still am doing, like mahjong and golf. But on top of that, I sometimes participate and try to be as helpful as I can. So I don't know if I have time. Is there any questions? I don't have time. No
We'll
questions.
corner her at the end of the day.
questions.
I like that question.
Yeah. Well, I might need to run off as well because tonight I am going to walk.
She's going for the relay for life.
Oh. Okay, a question.
A question.
Any one question?
When you go for your, be it lumpectomy or mastectomy, what they do is they will first look at your last sentinel, that means the lymph nodes. If it is infected, they will do it, they will remove all. It's difficult for them to wake you up and say, hey,
Oh,
can
no,
I
no.
remove or not to remove, or I remove some that is infected.
Yes.
So they will take it off. So that aspect of whether to take it all off or whatever, there's no way you can make the decision.
Oh.
It's all done
Yeah.
first, and then subsequently you are under G.
That's interesting that you say
You
that.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I mean, when it was explained to me, I was dismissive to say, do what you need to do, doctor. Now, I subsequently came across a friend who said she knew a lot about this. So she told the doctor, you do not remove more than X number. Because she says, look, why did they remove all? It's because the first layer is like a staircase. So sentinel is the first layer. It was cancerous. So they know that it had crossed, right? So my friend said, okay, so if you know it's cancerous, it's crossed, I'm going to go for the treatment anyway. Don't go and touch my other nodes. So she preserved the nodes because when you do your chemo and your radiation, they are going to be affected as well. So I was shocked that she was so well informed. She told them to not remove more than 5 or 7 nodes. So you could if you were.
Yeah, but most surgeons will remove 4 if 1 or 2 are infected because there are chances of other being infected but not.
So you would have then you can have a conversation. So this friend of mine was very adamant. You do not remove. So yeah, indeed. But for me, it's about your decision. The question is, are you doing it on an informed basis or an ignorant basis? And if you are ignorant because you trusted your doctors, are they reliable enough? It just depends on their philosophy. So sometimes it's like luck of the draw, right? So if I wasn't lucky to meet Evan, I would have had a patch, maybe, I don't know, maybe it would have worked. Maybe it would have been just a waste of time. Who knows? Life goes on, we move on, and we live our lives, right?
Yes.
Second.
Say that there's it's different from decompression lymphopress, right? So how is it different from?
It's a machine. It's
So-
a lymphedema machine.
Correct. I describe it like an OSIM massage chair that replaces the masseur. So of course, Veron is irreplaceable. But then, she doesn't come every day to my apartment to say, I'll bandage you. So you have to make do with lymphopress. It's like a mini Veron.
It's a wrap suit.
Well,
It's a wrap suit.
yeah. And she controls the
I can
pressure.
control on remote.
Or you
I can control her program on remote. I will send her what program I want for her. So that's why I need them to come back and review. But if they don't come back and review, I can talk to them and then still send the programs.
Yeah, I'm not going to her yet.
Every time how long?
An hour?
I set it up as an hour. So
Yeah.
there's pre, sequence, and post.
But Woon told me if I'm free, I can do more than once a day.
Yes, you can.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Of course.
The more the better.
Of course.
You're not the better. I mean, sometimes I do it twice.
Twice.
But you're not
many, yeah.
incumbent, so of course.
But I'm going to travel for a month, and this lady, she asked me to bring.
Yeah.
I said no way. It's not small, you know. The gun
quite
is like
heavy.
a bloody space suit. There's a monitor, and then there's this long thing with this pneumatic tubes.
Oh my god, okay.
So it's like.
It's like a mini CT ultrasound
So
machine.
this is where you take a
No, but when
position.
you do arms, it's small.
It's
I do
smaller.
the leg,
Yeah. But the arm, you know, they make it for Westerners. I'm a small Asian girl.
I bought you a small.
I know, it should be extra small.
All right, let me explain to them. It's a machine that you have that's about a box size that has wires attached to a suit. It looks like a Michelin guide, you know, it's a puffy thing. So you fit yourself into either a suit from legs to your chest somewhere here, or the full suit arms also. The machine will pump pressure through your body. That's what it's all about. So that suit itself is quite lumpy, Michelin style. You know that Michelin wheel thing, you take the fluffy thing, it's like that. So you gotta fold them out. It fills up the whole luggage. And that machine weighs like 10 kilos at least.
No lah.
Okay, fine. Let me exaggerate less. 5.5? No lah, it's more than that lah. It's about 8 or something. It's heavy, it's a machine, yeah? So you have to bring the whole thing with you. So that's why it's quite difficult to lug a whole luggage or something with you. But it pumps through. Yeah.
But I mean, for me, the sleeve, the night sleeve and the normal day sleeve is the key. If you wear that, then I'm okay. But the press is to help me hopefully get to the next level, they say.
Yeah.
Yes. ROI, return on investment.
With that, let's give her a clap.